What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. This might be the funniest buyout in all times in terms of reactions on Twitter and online. People are going, finally something good from me opening Blazing Dumpster Fire to, this is so stupid, why is it happening? So Tri-Brigade kit has gone to $4 to $5 US, but at the same time, over in Europe has gone to 4 to 5 euros, 420, but look at this graph, it just spikes straight up, and people are scratching their heads, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. The 2021 Megatons came out, and this card was not included in them because it's from Blazing Dumpster Fire, a set that might as well be so thirsty for value that it lives in the desert. You have the top end Pot of Prosperity now at $110 thanks to that TCG player sale, really hitting quantities on the market of a lot of cards. Underworld Goddess is the next at $23, and after that, every secret is under $5. Armed Dragon Flash, Copium, Quick Launch is going to get hit on the list for Dragon Link. Okay, guys, you've said that a couple lists in a row, even though Dragon Link got heavily hit. Zephyr will be good one day, even though it can't even stop an access code talker. And then here's Kit in the set after all of that. That's how pathetic it is. Now, I do get the knee-jerk reaction of, well, this is a super rare that's not completely generic like Twin Twisters or Mystic Mine, and yeah, it could end up falling back down a little, but for maybe about a year, depending on our reprint cycle, you might not see another reprint of Kit till the 2022 10s or another reprint set like the March reprint set, because Gold Series is already slated Brothers of Legend and they have those set lists completed. They're in production, so I don't think Kit would suddenly be in them because of a jump up towards $4 to $5, but we could see some coolant as usual after a buyout where people double down. I don't know where this is going to go, but the reactions certainly are hilarious. Now, Sky Strikers got included in the waifu box along with Mayakashi as well as Witchcrafters, and we've seen some prices go up without the card reveals. The last couple of Sky Striker cards, they were disappointed, but this sells an entire product in the OCG with themes of sleeves, over sleeves, display cases like those Millennium Pharaoh display cases that people used to make custom for $30, all into about a $40 MSRP product, similar to the Prismatic God Box. I will point out, if you're buying the OCG product ahead of time, by the way, the Prismatic God Box had a lot of problems, which is why it's only gone down in price. You could kind of peek inside without tampering with the product to see if you had Raw, Slifer, and Obelisk, and the Raw packs would be the ones with the Ultimate Blue Eyes and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon Ultimate Rare. So you want to be aware that that was tampered with heavily, and a lot of people, when they bought masses of them, would get no Raw boxes at all. They would get Obelisk, they would get Slifer. Slifer had the worst pulls. You had a chance for Dark Magician and Obelisk, and the prices have only gone down on that sealed product. It was initially hype beasted all the way to 120, and now they're like 70 to 80 bucks. So I do hope Konami OCG fixes that. That being said, we're here for the TCG market overall, but I wanted to shout that out because I know a lot of people looking at OCG products right now. Sky Striker Ace Kagari is back towards 150 for the ulti and only has 10 listings. We also see Shizuku Secret Rare starting to bump up a little. People gambling that the effects will be good. I also want to say, we don't know when we'll get these cards. The Prismatic God Box became a structure deck here in the TCG for the cards inside, and we don't know where Konami will implement or reprint or put the cards that are coming out in this set. So do keep that in mind without us even having effects to be revealed where people are gambling on this. Elvish the Golden Lord Secret Rare has been bought out to $6.9, not so nice, around $70. I would suggest getting the gold rare sooner than later. If the gold theme actually ends up being Elvish, I don't see them doing another gold rare Elvish unless he's one of the Alter Arts. And with the theming and name, perhaps he could be. 2 years in a row gold rare would be a little bit odd though. But yeah, the secret rare, the OG version, I don't want to play the gold rare version. It's up towards 70 being bought out right now with only 6 listings here on the US market. Also, Phantom Knights of Torn Scale Starlight Rare got bought out here, and it's kind of interesting. We see some of the highest buys far after that TCG player sale, but yeah, they're only available around $300 now. I've been told that the Brave Token Phantom Knight deck is kind of taking over the OCG. I don't have my ear to the ground on the actual gameplay as much as I do their market, but I have seen the absurd things with the Destiny Hero engine, Dagda. I actually don't have Dagda pulled up. Let's check in on Dagda because that was getting bought out a bit ago. ago to pair with the Destiny Hero engine, and it's still just about $4 right now. That's up in price versus its history, yet still pretty easily available for a $30 MSRP product. Then you do see Utopic F-Zero. So many people brought this to my front door. It's going to the moon. It's skyrocketing. King's Court, John. You're in the King's Court. This is only up like $6. What are you saying to the moon and like beating your chest over and over on, like, look, this was 82 recently and now it's back to 90. Like, this is kind of sad. Like, this was 100 to 110. This is still down, but people keep bringing me this one, maybe because they think I really am biased on King's Court and don't put my audience first. But yeah, it's a baby bump back up. It's not like it's actually skyrocketing. And I'd like to point out the quantities available of the ultra rare are still almost to 100 different listers. That's not even quantities, so it's still readily available. You have time to get it, but I would get it sooner than later if you're thinking about playing Phantom Knights as we get the Brave token stuff, as we get the Destiny Hero engine. I would get that sooner than later because it is a deck that just throws up sick end boards, resource management, and it feels almost like Orcust without Babel when I look at the end boards of what they're able to complete with Bardiche and the Destiny Hero, and just so much ability that it has. Phantom Knight of Silent Boots is also up towards $20, bought out for its secret rare. You do have other versions of it readily available, and the super rare Ragged Gloves is also towards $13+. Well, 12 and quickly towards 13. So if you have that OTS super, you might have more money than you thought you had. And considerations, do you hollow out the deck if you're going for it, or sell it and just get the cheaper copy? That's completely up to you. Prank Kids Place is down in price. Not everything's up. Remember that Meow Meow Moo got hit on the list, and we now see this down towards $13 where it used to be 22 to 26, and Doodle Doo is 14 where it once was 18 to $22. So not everything is just prices skyrocketing going up. There's a lot of coolant on the market, and we're actually going to talk about that in the collector sector towards the end of this market watch. The 2021 Tins of Ancient Battles has competition ramping up. Not a ton of top rated sellers among the lower sellers. We see a lot of indie, just people going in, trying to make those sales with others that are fresh top rated sellers here in the mix now that wasn't here earlier. So nice to see them on the grind. But at $95, $96 before it does go towards $100 somewhat quickly. And you can see how many new sellers, 0%, only so many sales, really trying to make their penny out here, and I don't blame them. And it will be interesting to see the horror stories though of, oh, my card got shipped in this, or without a top loader, or no tape on the top loader. Often happens when there's an influx of sellers that aren't used to selling, but I do think a lot of these people, we will see them end up making decent sales here, and a lot of people try their first hand in the market with the Megatins, and I love to see it like this, 100%, 100 sales. To me, that might as well be a top-rated seller at that point. You've done over 100 with 0 bad transactions, but they like to put that little star on you when you've done more for TCG player, right? But yeah, Crossout Designator, just kind of the point of the competition of the 10s and what's going on there. Maybe it's easier just to click that. Oops. Well, live editing done cheap by Jonathan Moore. We look at Triple Tactics talent, and it's still floating around 41 to 42, and this is what I talked about last Market Watch. People always want to talk about stuff like, oh, there's so many 10s open. There'll be so many of these cards, but they don't want to talk about the demand aspect. Demand is overwhelming for these cards that don't have special editions, that don't have reprints, and people have waited so long for, causing them to be higher prices than my projections, even thanks to that sale TCG Player did, and I can't blame TCG Player for doing that. It's something great for the community, but with 10 prices, we see that Zeus is sticking 20 now when it was selling at 12 to 14. We see IDP at 18 where it was 14, and even $12 pre-sales that were selling out, and that Dogmatica engine really sticking up. And Torn Scales, to note, not falling flat to a $3 card with only 57 listings. That's the thing. Look at these listings. Usually by now we would see hundreds of listers and tons more quantities, but thanks to these waves where people had to sell their 10s and ship them sealed rather than open as many as they wanted, there's a lot less of the cards and still that high demand. Hope for Escape's kind of funny. It was mentioned with the new Dino Waifu deck that got announced last night. You pay half your life points with a lot of the traps. There's actually a sales rate starting to trek with this card over here. Look, 15 copies bought, 18 copies, 9, 11. So people obviously investing rather than just you know, getting their play sets or whatever. That's fine. It's just a funny card that reads activate by paying 1,000 of your life points when they're lower than your opponent's life points, and the difference is 1,000 points or more. Draw one card for each 2,000 points of difference between you and your opponent. This was used last in the metagame, in a Worlds metagame, Exodia Jarrell, I think. So it's your boy Pro Winston here. Hope for Escape is a really funny card in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. It's been bought out a lot of times, and it only has 2 copies. If you really think you might play it in your Dino Waifu deck, maybe it's something to pick up now, because I don't see where a reprint would be on the horizon, although it certainly deserves a holofoil reprint. Stardust Dragon Starlight Rare is pretty much up. I think some people have pulled their listings even because it was lower the other day, and now we see 620 without actual sales rates versus the other day. So it could be people trying to push it a bit, where they see the 650 and figure they could get more for theirs because of the sales day. So just a note that not actual sales pushed it to end up going even further past that 575, although we do see one sold that day. There was still another one, I believe, the day after, so this is a bit interesting to me. Access code Talker continues to go up as people are starting to settle on spending 160 on their copies and even 180 after the sale. I could see this being in Gold Series, Brothers of Legend, or get the BLS treatment. Nobody knows the future except for Konami on their plans with this. Maybe a gold rare Ultra Art, but no, seriously, it's crazy what people are spending on this, with what we would hope for to be a reprint on the horizon if it did miss the Megatons, but if it misses Gold Series and Brothers, I'm starting to cringe just a little bit, Konami. And I talked about how the collector's market is actually falling out, and this is what I want to point out. During the STEMI check time, where everything disappeared, you could be staying, even want to overpay a little, and it just wasn't there on the market. Quantities are back on the market, and prices are cheaper than they were. Are they still absurd? Of course. $1,600 on a Metamorphosis Super before it's 2K. Oh boy. But still, the fact is that these were listed low as 3,000 before, and you couldn't be sane and have money to find some listings. Like, every first ed Jinzo was gone off the market due to the grading craze as well, and now you see 700, 750 before it's 1,000, but at least it's available there rather than it being off the market. And I remember Gate Guardian first being $1,000 lowest and only like 2 sellers. Now we see 450, 600, 650. So the collector's market is returning. If you've been waiting a long time for some of these cards and the prices were just out there ridiculous, some of them still are out there ridiculous, but they've been returning the market. So maybe make your plans on, oh, I've been waiting for this card, but I haven't been looking in a while. Might be time to start paying attention to those cards a little more and figuring out what you want for your collection. If you're truly collecting rather than stonks, diamond hands, etc., things are getting a little more sane back out there. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And yeah, like I said, it's not just all skyrocket. Like, this is tanked under half versus, like, you know, the mid-2020s, and that's pretty awesome to see it available in that way. But tons of crazy buyouts as well, and funny reactions to them.